Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and I sure appreciate you taking the time to stop in and visit and doing something, well, kind of the same, but it is a little bit different. Here with Monza in a 2020 Porsche 911 GT3R, and I was getting ready to do a multiplayer race in the CP server, and my Fanatic wheelbase, not the new one, but the Club Sport, the one that I'm still using, um, just kind of freaked out on me and went haywire. So I lost all my force feedback and everything. So I pretty much had to quit and go back and load all my, load just to reload the firmware and kind of reset everything. And it seems to be working okay now. But anyway, I was going to share the setup for this car for the Porsche here at Monza. So after the race, because it's a pretty good setup. I mean, it's pretty decent, and it's really solid. Feels really good, and so we're just gonna go over a quick little track guide where I usually don't do, but just a few key little areas that I want to touch on, and especially with the Porsche, that's pretty unique. A few places it's pretty unique. But I want to touch on that, and then of course we'll go over the setup, and of course I'll leave a link to the setup in the description. So let's get started. And this first one, I'll do kind of the track tips here in the beginning on this first lap, so I'll leave the HUD off. So we'll sit back here. And of course, it's, coming off that final turn, parabolica is really important for your drive down here to get the maximum speed. But with a Porsche, you can go pretty deep. So, see, there's where I'm on the brakes right there. So I'm on the brakes right at the 150, right at the 150. As you can see, there's a white line right here above me, or right in front of me. So usually I'm looking for the 150 and that white line. I'm right in between here is where I'm really hitting the brakes. I'm hitting the brakes, but by the time I'm fully depressed, I'm probably by this white line. So it's pretty deep for any car, but it's, like I said, with the Porsche, and especially the way this is set up, it should handle it with no problem as long as the track's optimum. Now, obviously, if the track's fast or green, you might have to back it up just before the 150. So those are just, most of the common things. So let's keep going. This is what I want to touch on, is when you're coming up here, you do not want to turn in early. You want to turn in late so you can take this. Let's see if I can do this right. You want to take this on this side. So you want to come across right where these marks are. You want to come across here so you're on this side of this turn. Okay, so you're kind of squaring it off. You don't want to cut it in early and come in here, because then it's going to throw you right where you're trying to dodge this sausage over here. So what you're trying to do is come in kind of late and come in right here where these marks are here, and then cut in this way close so you can get a drive down here. So that's the idea. So let's see how it goes. I'll slow it down. So see, you're coming across here like that, and keep it to the right just a teeny bit, not a lot, but I mean just a little bit, and then coming back across there. And that way you can get on the gas as soon as you can. See, I'm staying wide and I'm cutting in. So see, I'm not coming in to where I'm hugging this sausage here. I'm trying to come in actually behind it right here. That's the goal, is to come in behind it like this. So you can come in over here, and then you're wide. That way you're set up to be a little wide. I mean, you don't have to be out here. You don't have to be over here by the white line. But I'm just saying is you don't want to be hugging this on the inside, because it'll kill your drive going down here, down this chute. And that's, you can get all the way up to, 160 miles an hour time you get into the next braking zone, for the next chicane. So it's fast. So you need all the drive you can get right here. So you want to stay a little wide and then cut it in so you can get that drive. See how I'm staying wide? And then, of course, the Porsche turns really good because it's short wheelbase. And we can look at the, I'm already on the gas when I'm turning. Okay, so we'll speed back up. Of course, you're flat through here. And we're coming up here. See, right when I'm coming up to this orange right here, I'm on the brakes. So right when I'm coming at the end of this guardrail, I'm on the brakes. Now, yeah, I could go a little deeper. I could go in past it and before this 100, but a lot of times it will kill you. You'll come in so hot that it'll kill you coming through here. So, and it's also really important going through this turn and coming out of the turn. So we'll slow it down. Okay, again, you want to stay wide to where you're right almost on here. I've even seen some guys get on this curbing. I mean, I don't, but I might barely touch it, but I mean, I'm going to be right on the edge over here. And this is the same thing, what you're trying to do. You're trying... I don't hit the speaker, so I don't do that. But what you're trying to do is come through here and lay apex it where you're coming across here. You're not going to hit. You don't want to hit this and upset the car. You're going to come across here like this. So what you're doing is when you come over here, you're already set up on this side and can come back across the other side on this other sausage. So that basically gets you the drive going down there. So let's see if that's what I do. Okay, you see I'm trying to, right there. I mean, I could be a little bit over, but that's okay because you don't want to hit over here either. So I'm all the way over. And you see where I'm trying to cut across. I'm trying to cut across there to line myself up to the left and then come back across and not hit the sausage and keep going to where I'm not going to come run off into this dirt. And I'm in second. I'm not in first gear. Okay, then we're going to come up here. And you see I'm on the brakes. Now, when you're in the car, of course, it seems like you're more closer to this, but I usually go off, again, I go off of this orange and right off of this here. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm not wanting to dive in real deep. I'm wanting to, just, it's a time thing. You basically get on the brakes for a second and get off and downshift, for a second or two and get off and carry your speed through this corner. And I turn in a little bit so I can hug it. That's the idea anyway. See, I'm off the brakes. And here I'm a little bit too close. But that's where you want to be. You want to be right, even going over that curbing right there. And then that way you can be on the gas real early, and you're not going to run it all the way out here. You're going to just stay, you got all this room to maneuver, but you got plenty of room to go. And of course there basically is right past the 50. So we're going to be coming up on the 50. See, I'm on the brakes. and I downshift once. And here, you know, you can go across here. That's fine. I try to maybe just touch it or just come across on the other side of it. I mean, I have the car set up for that, so it's not going to upset it. You know, some cars, if you have it too low and you hit that, it'll just screw it all up. But mine's not that way. Okay, then up here, basically is right past this bridge. You see right where I'm past the bridge there, pretty much between the bridge and the 100. Usually I'm coming up pretty close to the 100. I can push it right up to the 100 with the Porsche. And you stay all the way to the right and then turn in and run over these bumps. So let's see how I do that. See, I'm staying all the way to the right. And I want to turn it in late so I don't hit these too hard and set myself up to where if I'm on this, it's not a big deal, but I don't want to be all over it if I don't have to. Again, the car's set up so if you're not going to bottom out or anything like that. And again, you're going to come back across and see I just barely touch that, which is not going to upset the car. Goes right through it, and away I go. And then down here at the end, I'm on the brakes right past the 100. So as soon as I get past the 100, I'm on the brakes, go down to third, and let the car rotate in. Try to hug the curb. And get on the gas as soon as I can. And that's a lap. So let's go back and start the next lap, and we'll watch it from outside. I'll turn the HUD on. Again, I just let it coast for a little bit and then get back on the throttle. And that was a 149.13. See, I go right up to the 150. See, I'm trying to come back across. Use the acceleration of the Porsche. That's one of its advantages. Come up here, go down to second. Again, come across there. Into this guardrail, down to one gear. Did a little better through here that time. I wasn't too close to the vent of the guardrail there. Downshift one again. Had a little correction, but no big deal. And obviously, I mean, I'm by myself, so I mean, which, you know, there's no draft or anything to help, so. I really feel the car can do this for a long time. I mean, it feels super solid. It's very driver friendly for the Porsche. You can see it's not bad at all. That was a 49.21. few laps in here where I'm could have been running 48, 4890s or something. So it's there, and that's by myself. So I mean, if you're with somebody drafted, you could easily be running mid 48s, no problem. Because I mean, that's where the Porsche, needs a little bit of help. It's coming down the straightaways. But this isn't. I don't have a lot of drag on. We'll check the setup, like I said. Look at that, it just goes right over it. I mean, not even upset the car, nothing. That's what you want. I mean, yeah, could you get it a little bit more on the edge? Yeah, maybe get a few more tenths out of it, but this is something you could do a long stint and just go, and not have to worry about every little thing. If you run over a little something, yeah, it might cost you a tenth or two, but it's not going to wreck the car. And it's really feels good. That was a 49.0. So as you say, as a 49.02. I really think that, like I said, I really think it's a solid setup for a race setup. And I mean, obviously, I started out with 50 liters. I usually run like 65 or so, but the car feels really good. I know it'll feel good at 65, 70 liters too. That's not an issue. Of course, if you wanted to, go real light and basically, like a qualifying, you could easily, go with 20 liters or something like that, and you probably get into 48s easy. And of course, this is the 2020, so this is with the updated tire. So let's go over the setup. I got 26.1 left front, 25.7 left rear, 27.3 right front, and 26.7 right rear. I'm trying to keep the tires all around 27.5. They're super, with these new tires, they're very specific on pressures. So anything over 28, you want to get them below that because they'll start falling off really fast. You'll start slipping really quick. So I've noticed that if you can go down to 27, they seem not real bad. As soon as they get below 27, they start getting a little, they start graining. You'll get some graining and you'll get some sliding around a little bit. But from 27 up to 28, they work good, but they fall off quick. So if you 28.2 and all that, and 28.3, you're gonna fall. You're gonna start getting a lot of slides. So try to keep them. I try to keep them around 27.5 on the 2020 tires. The toe is on the front is negative 0.05. On the left front, the camber is negative 3.7, and on the right front is negative 3.6. The caster is 11. On the rear, the toe is 0.1, and the camber is negative 2.9 on the left rear and negative 2.8 on the right rear. And again, you try to keep the camber not too aggressive because it really hurts your braking. You run too much negative camber and it hurts some of the braking, and there's no need for it. There's no need to, and it hurts. A lot of times it'll hurt your turn in too, because if you don't, if you got a bunch of negative camber and you go to turn, the car's not going to react as quick. So, and you got these short little chicanes all around Monza. You need the car to turn. You need to turn instantly, either direction. You need to change directions extremely quick, and you got to have it put the power down. So when you get on it, it's got to go, not mess around at all, because that's two advantages of the Porsche is braking and acceleration, and you need to take advantage of it because it definitely is not top speed. Electronics are 3, 5, and 3. Of course, fuel, like I said, I had 50 liters. As you can see, that was the tires. Of course, I didn't do a ton of laps, but they were fine. Confident that they'll be really good. Mechanical, anti-roll bars got 5. Brake bias is 55. Now, that's why it's super good on the brakes. But you just have to, just like I talk about with any other setups with the newer tires, you got to be careful the first lap or so. It's just like I did with like I talked about with the Porsche um, at Spa. You got to be careful the first lap. You don't have to be. It's not like on razor's edge, but you just back it, down a couple notches after at least lap one, and then you can get more aggressive. The wheel rate or springs on the front's 137,000. Bump stop rate is 1,100 on the left front and 1,000 on the right front. The bump stop range is 1 on the left front and 2 on the right front. The rear springs 174,500 with the bump stop rate of 600 on the left rear and 500 on the right rear, and the bump stop range of 8 on the left rear and 12 on the right rear. The anti-roll bar is 3, and the preload on the diff is 90. The shocks are on the front are 8, 5, 11, and 9, and on the rear it's 8, 4, 10, and 9. Aero I have at 57 in the front, 68 in the rear with a 3 splitter on the front and a 2 rear wing and a 4 and a 3, and the brake ducts and the front aero variation is 5.6 to the positive. And of course, if you want to see, here's a fuel load test. So this is, let's say this is with the 50 liters. Let's say it only has 10 liters in it. Well, now it's 4.6. So see, it's already taken weight off because the fuel's in the nose of the Porsche. So it's already taken, went from 5.6 down to 4.6. So you already lost one full point just going from 50 liters down to 10. So that's the thing with the Porsche that you always got to keep in mind, that it changes dramatically with the fuel load. So but like I said, the car is really good, and I really think that it's really driver friendly. And if you needed to add one wing, if you want to just go one notch, it's fine. Or what I would do is leave the wing alone if the car, you think it's rotating too fast, and I would just lower the rear ride height by like one or two clicks here, and that's all you should need if the car rotates a little bit too fast for your liking. And everything else I would just leave alone, and that should be enough to keep the back end where you want it to be. Just be careful though, because like I said, it'll understeer as the fuel comes off. So, and that's when you get into an understeer issue. So I sure hope that you enjoyed the video, and like I said, this will be a setup for this for the 2020, and I will put that in a link in the description. And if you could give me a thumbs up, I sure would appreciate it. It sure would help support the channel with all the YouTube stuff. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Got a great little community here with all just great bunch of subscribers and guys that just love sim racing. So it's really awesome. I really enjoy talking to everybody. I really have a good time with it. It's the only reason I do it. And I sure hope it helps somebody out there that they can be faster with the Porsche. One of my favorite cars. I just love the Porsche. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but it's such a great car. So I sure hope it helps y'all, and any feedback or comments are welcome, and I sure hope you come back and visit real soon. Y'all take care. See ya.